When he does that, I'll quit comedy and kill myself. What?
Dude, I have no idea.
One of those nights where you wake up naked, but you didn't like plan on being naked.
Yes,
It's like,
going nuts, and I'm like, ooh, then the water's hitting me, it's freezing.
They just get murdered by accident.
This is the kind of question that you're not allowed to ask, but I've actually wondered it. Yo, sorry, a little hungover, a little gay.
Classic.
Welcome back to the Picky Boys podcast.
Yo, first Zoom interview.
Yeah, and we got a new face today. You want to tell them who you are? That's perfect enough. Mark Norman, everybody, perfect.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me. Sorry, it was a kooky road to get here, but we got here.
We made it work.
Yeah, it's fine. It's working beautifully.
Kevin Hart himself in the building.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm in a Hilton hotel in the middle of nowhere. Anytown, USA, folks.
Has Kevin Hart ever said anything about you impersonating him?
You know, I get that question a lot. I've said it on The Tonight Show, Conan, on my specials. He is so in his own world. You know, he's got 8 zillion projects. He's got 9 wives, 4 kids. And I don't think he's thinking about anyone else. I think he's just working. And I even opened for him once, said I'm Kevin Hart, brought him on. He didn't even know.
It would be funny if he ended it with "I'm Mark Norman," everybody, and walk out.
When he does that, I'll quit comedy and kill myself. That's the final chapter. That's all I need.
Perfect.
Speaking of your special, Out to Lunch, amazing, so good.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
We just hit 3 million, fatty. So I appreciate it.
Oh, nice. Sounds good.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you've been releasing some pretty fire content. I love No Man's Land.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're the one. That one didn't do as well as I hoped. We really put some jizz on that taco, and it did. It's got like 100K views over a few months, but I thought that would really pop because it's.
Oh, that was my favorite. You're looking crazy. Your hair's like.
Was there anything demeaning about bathing in Central Park?
No, it was great. I mean, I kept koi fish kept nipping at my sack, so I got the hell out of there. But it was awesome. I mean, it was really when the lockdown was like locked down and everybody was gone and the city was empty. Even the hobos found a spot, and I just had the whole place to myself. And I had my hog, and I was out there. It felt like, you know, Mad Max or some shit. And so we said, hey, let's capitalize on this and film it. And I think maybe in like 5 years, when we're all back to normal, it'll be a nice little time capsule. Like, holy shit, look at Times Square. He was shooting cans off of a railing with a slingshot.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one who bathes there, too. I'm pretty sure, like, in the census, there are, like, 15 people who live in Central Park, just homeless men.
Yeah, I believe it. I bet it's more than that. I just don't think they're filling out that census.
Yeah, for sure. And the hog you're referring to riding is that little, I see you riding it a lot, that, like, what is it, like an electric bike?
No, it's a 2-stroke scooter, I guess you call it. It's 1986. It's Italian. It's a Garelli. And it takes gas and oil. I park it right outside my house. And, you know, Manhattan is really pretty small when you break it all down. So I can zip up and down. I can get over to Brooklyn. I'm making all the spots, all the shows, because I got this hog. I don't have to get on the train or wait for a bus or go gay. I'm just right there. And that thing is, you can park on the sidewalk. You don't need a license. I don't wear helmets. I'm drunk. So we're having fun.
None of that's true.
Important. You said you were a little hungover?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I'm on the road again, and some clubs are open. I'm not going to say which one I'm at, but some clubs are open now, and they're like 25% capacity or whatnot. So I'm cooped up in Manhattan. Manhattan's on fire. Crime is through the roof. The homeless have taken over. And so it's nice to get out and have a little normalcy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the hangovers, man, I heard you say on a podcast, and we have something in common. I've never met anyone else who you get these 2-day hangovers, right?
Oh, yeah. It's
dude,
brutal.
I've had 2-3-day hangovers. If I drink a whole, dude, I'm telling you, if I have something Monday, like, I gotta be careful what I do Saturday.
Well, how old are you?
Saturday. I'm 23, man.
What?
Dude, I have no idea. I don't know anyone else. Definitely not my age.
It's a sad life.
The next morning, it's out. It's like, all right, we're gonna leave him wherever he is for a day, and maybe we'll come back later.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean,
Only
can I recommend doing blow in the morning? That might
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
that might perk you back up because
Good point.
3-day hangover is bananas when you're 23. Are you mixing like wine and
Heroin,
heroin?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on with you?
Nah.
there,
Catnip.
Patty? Are you?
dude,
Yeah.
just,
A butt chug? What's
Yeah,
happening?
just sniffing animals'
Just-
asses.
good old fashioned alcohol for me, man. I basically have to stay away from the liquor at this point because
It's
it's
a
too
weak
much.
liver.
Wow. Are
Dude,
you
I don't know
drinking
what it is.
water? Do you drink water? You might be dehydrated.
Well, how did it end up happening to you? You didn't always get them, right?
Well, I always got them, but when I was 22 or 25, you'd just be like, I'm a little hungover, and you have a greasy hamburger, and you take a big sloppy diarrhea, and you're kind of back. But now it like my anxiety goes up. It's not even the queasy or the headache. To me, it's like I hate myself. I'm gonna bomb. What are you doing with your life? You haven't accomplished anything. Your girlfriend's unattractive. So it's all of that. So I just start spiraling down when I'm hungover now mentally, and that's really what I hate. I can deal with the pain part. It's the mental anguish.
Right. Well, what was the worst hangover you ever had?
Oh, geez. I mean, I've had so many. I went on a camping kind of trip with a bunch of dudes once. And this is more food poisoning, but we got shit-faced all night, smoking weed, dropping pills, shrooms, wine, liquor. It's one of those things like, what else we got? We're out of beer. Oh, the peach schnapps. Bring it out. All right.
Yeah.
You're just taking anything. And you're in the woods, so you're like, fuck it. What else are we doing? And then my friend got drunk and made meatballs. He's fucking in there.
In the woods?
Where?
Well, he's got some ground beef. He's got like a little tin thing over a fire, and he puts the ground beef. He rolls into a ball with his disgusting, shit-covered hands and his jizz all over the place. And he puts them on the tin, and he's cooking them up. And I ate like 12 of them, and I woke up and I wanted to kill myself. I'm shitting blood. I had a miscarriage. I puked all day. Brutal.
It's
The worst is when you're hungover and you got to do something important.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when you're hungover, you're like, I'll take the day off. I'm closing the blinds. I'm turning off my phone. But when you have to like go to the airport and fly to whatever and go through customs and customs is up your ass, and that's the worst. Or you got to go to like your girlfriend and meet her parents or whatever it is. That's the worst.
When you have to just be a person.
Yes.
Then sometimes they sneak up on you. I had a wedding the next day when I was out drinking, and I thought that I was like in the clear. You think you're riding high the night before, and then in the morning I had to be dressed by the groom to make it to the wedding.
Whoa!
I was dead on arrival.
You were the worst man.
I was
you were
the worst
truly
man.
the worst man.
I was also the best man at that wedding. So.
Oh my
God!
Yeah, it wasn't
wild.
that.
You
it was
were
tough.
like a paraplegic. He had to wipe your ass and jerk you off.
Exactly.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was one of those. It's one of those nights where you wake up naked, but you didn't like plan on being naked.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
It's like when did this point A to point B? I don't know how we got here.
And those dads are brutal. The day after drinking shits.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Absolutely brutal.
I remember I was such a bad drunk when I was 18, 19. Like it was a blackout every night kind of thing where you'd wake up like, oh, I'm in Texas today. How the fuck did that happen? And like I don't know where my car is and my car keys, and I wet the bed and all this shit. I'm next to a man, whatever it is. But like one time my dad was like, you got to clean up your act. I got you a job at this fancy restaurant. I know the owner. He's doing me a solid. You're going in tomorrow. I said, all right, great. He's like, it's 7 a.m. You got to go there and like prep food and whatever. I was like, all right. It was like a real nice New Orleans high-end joint. I was like, thanks, Dad. Great. And I went out drinking that night, blacked out, woke up to my dad like shaking me on the bed violently. He's like, it's 9:30. I thought you had left. What the fuck? And, I'm wearing like women's underwear. I got like a tiara on my head. I'm wearing a boa. I got
makeup
dildo
on
my ass. Yeah, I'm wearing makeup. I'm covered in blackface. And he just picks me up, and he's so angry. He just picks me up in my underwear and throws me into the shower, like Jazzy Jeffs me into the shower. Puts the water on, and he's like, "You're a fucking drunk. You're a mess. You're a mess. I got you this job, and you can't even get that." Just going nuts, and I'm like, "Oh!" The water's hitting me. It's freezing, and I can't move. I'm so hungover, and I'm like spittling up puke next to me. And he threw me in the car. We went to that. I had to work the whole day, and it was a nightmare. But those were the 90s.
How did that job pan out?
I actually stayed there for like 2 years.
Oh, all right, so well.
Yeah, I pulled it off. I can function. I mean, it's hell on earth, and I was, sneaking a sip of a Maker's Mark in the corner just like to get by. But yeah, those were
the only true hangover cure.
Yeah, hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog.
I think hair of the dog works, but my thing is just a ton of Advil. Bananas help. That's a fun fact. Bananas help a hangover. Eat like 4 bananas, a big meal. Then you got to shit. The shit helps because you're getting some booze out of your system. And then nobody wants to hear this, but if you work out, it helps.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. You sweat it out or something, man.
Yeah, you
Sweat it
definitely
out. Yeah, and it gets your body like back up again, so it gets rid of the old shit and it needs new shit, and you're getting rid of that alcohol. But when you're hungover, it's the exact last thing you want to do is work out, but it does help.
No one wants to go for a ride.
Some Sunday mornings you walk into a gym, it just smells like a bar because everyone's.
Oh yeah. That's why Bert Kreischer can drink. He gets drunk and then he works out. I did the road with him for 2 weeks. I'd wake up at 3 p.m. I'm dying here. I'm like praying to Jesus. I'm doing the sign of the cross, and I would look out the window and he's jogging or something, or he's on like a Bowflex, shirtless with jeans on, and I'm like, no wonder this guy can function as an alcoholic. He just gets up and forces himself to work out.
Yeah, he gets a lot of shit for how much he drinks, which I don't think is as appropriate.
He might die. I mean, he's 52 or whatever he is, or 40, 48. I don't know, but he.
Oh, I didn't know he was that old.
He drinks and he does. It's not like he's eating right either, and he's on the road. He's on a flight. He's waking up early, so like he's pushing it. But he's also like a physical specimen, not looks wise, but like. The guy will just booze it up all day, all night, and get up and go do whatever he's got to do and not have a smile. He has a smile on his face. And then, like, we went skiing once. He out-skied all of us. Then he was like, I'm going to snowboard tomorrow. Out-snowboarded all of us. And he's the fattest guy on the slope. And he's hungover. And he's drunk. I mean, insane. He's got this gene.
Yeah.
You don't get a nickname, The Machine, by, like, just doing yoga and eating healthy and living a modern lifestyle.
Yeah, it's because people you think you're crazy.
Yeah.
No, he's a specimen. That guy.
How was being on the road with him? Were you drunk for 2 weeks straight?
It was hard. I mean, I'm half his age and in better shape, I'd have to say. But he would outdrink me every night. I mean, he would have 2 vodka sodas before he went on. Then he's doing shots on stage, and then we'd go out after that to the bars. And I like to drink, and I grew up as a big booze bag, but at some point you got to go, all right, let's take one night off and just watch a movie. And he's like, nah, fuck that. We're going to the Six Flags, and then we're going to do heroin and run through an orphanage and steal a kid and all this. You're like, all right. And then he has day plans where you're like, all right, we'll go out all night and drink and do drugs and then eat McDonald's at 5 a.m. And then we're going to bed. Let's take it easy tomorrow. He's like, no. I set up some go-karts, and then we're going to go whitewater rafting, and then we have archery at 4. You're like, God damn, man.
Horseback riding.
Horseback.
Bypass at 3.
We're zip lining, you name it.
Skydiving.
There's got to be that guy in the group pushing it along,
I guess. But on paper, your friend's like, holy shit, you're having the time of your life. And you want to be like, well, when I was on that zip line, I shit my own pants because I was so hungover, and then I puked on myself. So on paper, it looks amazing, but you're really, it's pretty painful.
Throw up skydiving, it lands on a bunch of
Life is pain.
kids. Life is pain.
Life is pain. I think you got something there because the more comfort you are, like, all right, I gotta have cushions around me all the time. I gotta be soaked in lotion, and everything's gotta be perfect. Those people are living the worst lives. Discomfort is the key to a good life. Have an adventure. That's what an adventure is. It requires some struggle a little bit. It's not an adventure without the conflict.
You don't have adventures in your comfort zone. That's not where they happen.
This guy, you're on.
That's actually a beautiful sentiment. If you take anything away from this, let it be that.
Yeah,
take that.
Go on more adventures.
That's a T-shirt a douchebag would wear, but I would secretly go, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you don't want to compliment him that way.
So obviously it's getting less, the rules are getting less stringent, but how is like drive-in comedy been?
It's tough, man. Somebody said it well. They said the hell gig is the new normal. You know, like a year ago, the idea of doing a show in Central Park with no microphone to randos while a frisbee goes over your head, a mosquito bites your asshole, and kids crying in the back, and a bird shits on your face. You'd be like, "This is the worst gig. Why would I ever do that?" And now you're like, "This is what we have. All right, let's do it." And you go on a roof, you go on a drive-in, you go in a parking lot, whatever it takes. And yeah, it's like we're kind of just running with weights on, and hopefully one day those weights will be gone.
Yeah.
But is this like the best time to get the practice in because you're doing these like just incredibly difficult gigs?
I guess. I mean, that part is good because you really got to fight for it, but it's not real comedy. You can't really get a gauge on because we want to try new material and see what works, and the only way we know if a joke works is if you guys laugh. So in a park, you're kind of like, I can't tell if that really worked or if it's because I'm in a park or if that bombed because I'm outside. So it's not good for creating material. I say that. It's good for getting chops, riffing on the guy, trying to make it work on your feet on a sunny day. That part is good. A lot of comics do need some of that. But as far as building material, it's horrible.
Yeah, because there's so many distractions around. Even a good joke could be wasted because like someone's just there's shit going on or like someone falls in the background even,
And comedy is so flimsy as it is. Like a joke has to be said. If you flub, like if you go the black guy, people are like, whoa, he said guy twice. That joke's ruined. And so imagine a perfect joke with like a police car going woo, 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 woo. And you're like, all right, well, that's ruined, So there's so many extra factors. And I guess it makes you have to be quicker on your feet and all that, which is good too. But it's hard to tell if a joke was good or not.
Yeah, and a lot of things with comedy is all about momentum, and if anything breaks it, it's hard to get back, especially in New York. New York, all the comedians we've seen or like talked to, we're like a really tough crowd because you always got to fight for it, fight for momentum here, especially.
Well, New York's a weird place because New Yorkers are funny, so you got to out funny them, and then also New Yorkers are ADD up the ass. Everything, it's like a New York minute. That's like a term. It's just everything's quick. I need to go. I'm late. Where's the subway? This guy's in my way. And so your comedy, you saw my special. It's just like, bah, 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 bah. I'm just rapid firing because I'm just trying not to lose you.
Yeah, and we see weird or funny or just crazy shit every day just on the streets or the trains.
Yeah.
So
right.
You're trying to tell a joke in Central Park. Meanwhile, there's like a hobo fingering his own ass over right to the right. Which one are they going to look at?
Yeah, and that hobo's he's going to get a Netflix special if he keeps doing that.
It's like
that
a
sounds
three-ring
killer.
circus.
That guy's that's original. That's art.
Yeah,
Is that Banksy?
We have a friend when we we go to see a lot of stand-up.
Wow,
we used to go
bragging.
to see. we go to see a lot of stand-up, but we're used to at least. And we have a friend that's an obnoxious laugher. Do you deal with the obnoxious laugh often?
I had one last night. It's that weird bittersweet thing because it's flattering. Hey, I'm killing. She's dying, but it's also a little distracting. So it's a tough nugget. Like I like your laughing, but also can you tone down the cackle? So that's a good question. Like I had this lady last night. She would go, ah! And I said, Jesus, what did you come out of a haunted house? Like, goddamn, I'm trying to give this chick a broomstick. And so I think if you address it, that's the only way you're gonna really get by because you can't not notice it. The audience every time goes, oh, there's that crazy Cures again with her fucking howl. But I mean that's just part of it. And if you want, you can use it. Like, oh, there she goes again, and do another joke. So you kind of gotta. That's the beauty of live comedy. You kind of gotta figure it out on your feet, in the fly, and pick the best option.
Do you focus more on like if a table is really silent and you're like why, like what's going on there, like what am I doing wrong, or like why aren't they laughing?
Of course. It's so weird. Last night I did 2 shows, same venue, same act, same material, obviously 2 different crowds. First crowd hated me. I'm bombing. I'm dying up there, and I can just see everybody's got their arms crossed. And they're wearing masks, so all you just see is their angry eyes. Their eyes are like, wait, hold on, and you're just like, what is the deal? Like, you showed up, you paid for this, you parked your car, you gave the guy money, and he gave you a ticket. You're sitting down with your cocktail. What are you? I'm not saying you got a fake laugh, but like, why are you mad at me? I'm the entertainment. Right. You're the audience. Why are you angry at me? And that's just part of it. And you're like, all right, and you just push through, and you make a couple jokes like, all right, this lady hates me. I don't know why. Sorry, you paid money to come see a guy you hate. That's a weird choice, whatever. And then the next show was just like same material, same me, boom, like lights out, killer. And I think it's just people like different shit, you know, like I don't know if you guys have a girlfriend, but you know, your friend might be like, man, Jeff's dating this fucking ugly chick. And then Jeff's like, she's the most beautiful woman in the world.
Right.
So, you know, people have differences. And I think this crowd was just like, this guy's an ugly chick. And the next crowd was like, hey, there's a hot whore here.
Yeah.
Hot skank, man.
And
yeah.
Even if you go to see, let's say, the funniest comedian in the world, if you show up not wanting to enjoy yourself, you won't.
It's true. It's true. And
you gotta, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
No. I was done. You could.
Well, here's the irony: is the second show was so hot and they were so geared up and ready to go that I was better. I was like on my feet and I was adding jokes and doubling down on tags and getting more laughs and getting more out of the material and being more on and energetic. And I'm like, that's because of you guys. And then ironically, the other show, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, this vicious circle. You guys suck as an audience. You hate me. So now I hate myself. I already hated myself. Now you're just validating it. And so I'm just going to go in and kind of just get through the material and just, you know, knock it out and then be done with you. Whereas if you're nicer, I'm a better comic and vice versa. So they're cheating themselves in a weird way, as silly as that sounds.
And have you ever walked off?
Nah, I can't do that. I've heard of guys doing that. It's just not in my DNA. I'm like, they're paying me to do an hour.
Right.
It's 28 minutes. I want to kill myself. I would give my whole paycheck just to get off stage right now. But I'm like, this is the gig. You know, it's like telling a postal serviceman to be like, he's just like, I got a whole sack of letters here, but it's too hot. I'm going home. Yeah. Like, you got to deliver them. That's the job. I mean, that's why they give you money. There's a transaction here. So yeah, there you go. It's all about the delivery. But yeah, I can't do it. I've had guys do it at a show I'm on. We're like, fuck these people. You don't get it. Blow me. You don't want to be here. Why should I be here? And I'm like, I didn't know we could do that. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you're never going to work in this town again. Like, people talk. I don't know. I don't have that in me. If I'm, even with like a woman I'm not attracted to, if she's like, hey, let's fuck. And I'm like, all right, you know, you went out with me. I kind of, you know, took up your time. I'll fuck you. I don't want to, but I'll do it.
Nice enough to ask.
Nice enough to ask.
Right. I can't do I did it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. It's weird with the Zoom thing. There's a little bit of
I know.
Yeah,
I did a show in Florida once. Yeah, fucking technology making it possible for us to communicate from thousands of miles away instantly.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
I did a gig in Florida, and it was a black college, which I didn't know until I got there. I was the only white guy in the auditorium. I checked, and the woman came up to me and she was like, "All right," and she was trying to like kind of tiptoe around it, like, "Hey, just want to let you know it's a very diverse crowd out there." And I was like, "Diverse? It's all black." I'm the diversity. I'm the only diversity here. We just call black people diverse, even though they're all the same. But yeah, I was like, yeah, all right. And she's like, so, you know, just want you to know that going in. I'm like, yeah, I see it, whatever. And this one kid goes up. He's supposed to do 30 minutes, and I'm supposed to do 30 minutes. So it's an hour show. He goes up, and they just heckle him. They're calling him a fag and all this shit. And like, woo, you suck. Fuck you. Blah, blah. And he's just like, what are we doing? Like, I have an act. I'm a good comic. What's the point? And he just walked off after like 6 minutes. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. My jaw was on the floor. I was like, dude, you flew here. They're paying us a lot of money because it's a college gig. And the lady was like, all right. Hey, everybody, like, let's try to calm down. We have one more comic. And he was black, that guy. I was the white guy. So I was like, oh, I'm really fucked. And I remember I walked on stage, and it was like a long walk to the microphone. So that's just ripe for, you know, shitting on me. And one guy goes, look at this fag. And that gets a huge laugh. Huge. Like, the place goes crazy. And, you know, I was in such a New York kind of state of mind that I was like, geez, man, like, what if I was actually gay? And he goes, no, you are. And that got like,
He doubled down.
An applause break, and the fucking roof came off, and they're like hanging off the rafters and high-fiving and shit. And I had to do, 29 minutes after that.
How'd the Kevin Hart bit go down for that one?
That was pre-Kevin Hart, I think. That was so long ago. But they wouldn't have caught. They didn't catch anything. Like, you had to you had to hump a stool or do something super overt for them to even give a shit. You could have the best one-liner in the world, and they're like, okay, but you're not using the microphone like a dick, so who cares?
Yeah. Speaking of that, I remember we've seen you a couple times, like the Stand and some other places. But I remember one of the times, like I felt so bad for like all the comics kept telling us we sucked as an audience, and I was like, man, like what are we doing wrong? I guess we're just not laughing enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I do hate that. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Every comic that went up was just like, you guys suck.
And especially if the headliner says something like that and dampens the crowd for the rest of the lineup, it's a strange choice, I think.
Where was this?
This is at the Stand.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's I think that's the best.
To be fair,
place.
the crowd did suck a little bit.
But it was
not us, obviously. Of course we were.
Right.
No, you're grouped into the suck. It's too late.
But we were grouped into the suck.
We were
But
Tuesday night.
But that annoys me because now it's bad for an audience to keep saying that. Like, if it's super bad and you're 20 minutes in and you haven't got one laugh, like, okay, go nuts on them. But, if you're getting chuckles here and there and you guys said you were laughing, but the rest of the crowd isn't, if you keep going, this sucks, that's not going to make it better. Now, it's the shitty people aren't going to go, you know what, we'll pick it up now. This guy's complained enough, and he's right. You're not gonna sway them. So just realize they suck, see the people who don't suck, focus on them, and then eventually the contagiousness of the laugh will get them. It's possible to get a shitty crowd, but you got to work at it, and they don't want to do the work. They're like, I think comics, we're inherently lazy. We just go, here's my set of jokes, 10 jokes in a row. I'm going to tell them in this order. If it doesn't go perfectly, I'm going to hate all of you, and then I'll leave. And you're like, I know, but look, they've paid money. They're here. You're an entertainer. At some point, it's on you, dickless. It's not all going to be perfect. So quit bitching and bring it a little bit. Mix it up,
Yeah.
Put some life into it. Cut.
Right.
Scars are always so they're so tough.
Yeah.
Like, even if you get a scar in the wimpiest way possible, it just looks fucking cool.
I tripped into a tree bench and I freaking I look like Scar now.
Dude, scar across your face, man? Yeah. It's badass.
It's a good look. I think, but you got to have a good story. You can't be like, oh, my dad hit me with a fucking chafing dish at a party. It's got to be, I would just lie and make something up. But
you need a good story.
I read this.
Not a true story.
Yeah, it's got to be a good story. But I read this Nazi book, and the young Nazi wannabes, back when that was big in Germany, chicks loved a dude with a scar on his face. That was like a panty dropper. So these guys would get into knife fights hoping to get a scar.
Oh.
They just get murdered by accident.
Yeah, they get murdered by accident.
Yeah.
Get your dick cut off.
Yeah. Maybe that's where circumcision started.
I got a scar.
Actually, they wouldn't be circumcised. Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's the only scar girls don't like that much.
Yeah, good point. or what do you call it? They don't like the one on the stomach. What is it? A spleen or appendix? Appendix scar is not sexy.
No, it's not.
A lot of people know what that scar comes from. You can't really make up like what happened.
Right.
Also, it's so precise. You got to tell your doctor. Can you just mangle it a little bit?
Can you botch it a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. It's got the 3 dots on the side and the straight line. Yeah, it's too perfect.
Yeah, this looks like this was properly.
It's kind of random, but I was wondering about that. Like, when you get a cut, even if it's not that big a cut, it bleeds a lot. So how do they, when they do surgery, how do they just they slice you open? Is there not blood everywhere, or is there? I don't know.
I think there is, but you know how the dentist does that sucky thing?
Suction.
They do that for the blood.
Yeah, you ever hear on these really terrible surgery shows like Grey's Anatomy, like suction. That's all.
Yes.
Oh, they're sucking me out.
They got a blood sucker there. They got fucking a vampire in this.
Someone in the back.
Yeah. But I also think they're pumping blood in you, because if you lose too much blood, you'll die. So I think you got some blood going in and some blood coming out. I don't know how it works, but they seem to have it figured out.
You could take that as medical advice from Mark, by the way.
Yes, there you go.
I think we could do it together. We could figure it out.
Oh no!
Surgery.
If someone needed surgery in front of us, I don't
Now,
know.
here's a horrible question. This is the kind of question that you're not allowed to ask, but I've actually wondered it. Do you think a woman has menstruated so much that it killed her? Because that's like a lot of blood loss.
Oh man,
How much do you have in you? 8 pints or some shit?
you got 8 pints.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, yeah. Oh, 8 pints? That's not even that much.
Well, no, we don't have that much blood in us. And there's definitely
what I'm saying.
there's definitely one. Like you look it up, like she was on like blood
Right.
thinners that day or some shit.
Yes, heavy flow.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely one.
Jeez.
I mean,
We'll
I
put
was
it-
such a dumb kid that I when I was a kid, I thought that if a girl sat in a pool, she would fill up. I didn't get it. I was like, why wouldn't it go in? It's a hole. And then some.
You have an
smart
asshole,
lady
don't you?
was- that's exactly what she's like. Well, you have an asshole, and I was like, oh, touche, bitch.
Yeah, they would fill up double the speed, triple the speed.
Yeah,
They got 2 holes in it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the
Plenty
2
of
holes
holes.
makes it fill.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you have like 7 holes. Shouldn't you just be filling all the time?
Yeah, the 7 gates,
Yeah.
which I always thought was a very weird term for them.
7
What
gates.
is it?
7 golden gates.
7 gates.
7 gates
got-
is like the different holes in your body.
Oh, I never heard that.
What is
Wow.
it? 6, 5 up, 5 on your face, and then
1,
2,
2, 3,
below.
4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, eyes don't count. So
No.
Maybe,
Two.
maybe
Unless
we
you're
missed-
you're into some real
5.
kinky stuff. I don't know.
If you make it a hole.
Yeah. 6, 7.
there's
yeah,
definitely-
all right.
There's definitely some pirates that have done some freaky shit.
Yeah, there are pirates with 8 gates.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh
you-
yeah.
You take over a fucking enemy pirate ship and you just fuck his eye hole.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Ooh,
That's
skull
dominant.
fuck.
Yeah, that's dominance.
Yeah.
Why do you think a pirate flag is all skull and bones? They were all into it.
Ah, there you go.
Nailed it.
It was just a kink flag.
Yeah, it was a kink flag.
It's a kink flag.
Dude, that's why when you see them, you ran. You don't want. You
It's
don't
like
want to get
it's like their pride flag.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
They're always talking about booty, dude.
Pirate
Pirates
booty.
pirates are gay. Pirates are for sure
Pirate's
gay.
booty, yeah. I mean, that's why I got an eye patch. Ah, yeah, some guy fucked me.
Exactly. Yeah, cover it up. It's like a glory hole for him.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, glory holes, socially distant. You're missing out on the cough. It works.
That's true. I've never seen a glory hole. I haven't been to enough. I gotta get to more like
They got more truck stops.
yeah, more truck stops,
truck
just
stops.
bad places.
Right. Can you Google glory holes? Like, can you put that in Waze? Where the hell are my glory holes? Is there one near me?
It's definitely in like a dark web thing. Like, oh yeah, I know this
Yeah.
one. I know this rubber ducky knows this
Nah.
one spot.
They got an app.
Right.
There's definitely
Yeah.
They got an app.
yeah, like a Tinder for glory holes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's called Holy Moly.
Not to be confused with the guacamole spot.
Yeah.
I get bad publicity.
Right. Yeah, glory holes. That's interesting.
I think I knocked you.
They're fascinating because it shows how fantastical porn is. Like, porn is such a fantasy. Like, oh, the pool boy just gets laid, or pizza delivery guy just gets laid with some hot MILF. And porn is so, like, people talk about Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. Porn is way more like unrealistic. Imagine putting your dick through a hole and having a woman on the other side go, "Hey, all right."
Yeah.
That would never happen.
Dude, it's definitely happened once.
Maybe. I mean, it's got to be the right woman at the right time who just happened to be super horny and looking for a dong.
I
come
feel like
on.
you have some stories that I've heard you tell that sound like they're straight out of a porno.
Yeah. Well, I've tried and failed enough times that sometimes it has worked.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
Yes. And comedy hell. I mean, if you're killing for an hour on stage in some tiny town where like everybody knows each other, they've all fucked each other, they're like work at the mill, and I've been on Conan, so your odds go up.
That's amazing. That's
That's a milestone you
Some
throw
of
at them.
yeah.
What's that?
That's a milestone you throw at them.
Oh yeah, I mean I've had some big ones. Like a lot of. I just throw it out there, like I hooked up with an Uber driver in Florida. That was a big one.
You had a female Uber driver?
Yeah,
male?
she was a female, cute blonde lady, and she was like driving me around. And I was with a few other comics; they can vouch. And I had a few drinks in me, and she was like, "Yeah, I just got divorced, and now I drive Uber, and it's so sad, and I'm all so lonely." And I was like, "Well, hey, you ever need a guy? I'm staying in the Ramada Hotel, boop, boop, boop." And threw out my number. We're all kind of giggling in the back, and she's giggling. And I was like, all right, we'll see you later. 5 stars. Hey, this number. Literally 2 hours later, I'm in my boxer shorts. I'm looking at YouTube. I'm like, got a finger in my ass, and the doorbell rings, and it's her.
Damn.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
That's
That is 5-star
That
service.
is definitely 5-star service.
Oh, yeah. It was good times. Good times.
No tip, though.
Florida, man. Yeah, I didn't tip.
Do you have any
Just
when you're on the road? You ever had any like just hotel horror situations or motel more like, or not really?
Oh, well, in the beginning of comedy, you just take any gig, you take any money, you just like, get me on stage. I'm a whore. I'll get on anywhere. I don't care if you're screwing me financially, but fuck it. I just need to get up. And I did a gig in Youngstown, Ohio at a place called the Funny Farm.
I've been there.
And you've been there?
I've been to Youngstown, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a shit town. It's like one of these towns that like
It's like, my
went to
parents
hell.
live there.
Yeah, and they put me in this hotel, and literally half of it was not built yet. So literally, it was like out of a movie. Like you'd go up the elevator, and you'd look down the hall, and it was just like duvetine flapping in the wind because they hadn't finished building the other part. And so it was like basically like a hotel cut in half, and the water was brown. Like I turned it on, there was like a bunch of like those mini roaches all over the hotel room, and a few of the outlets didn't work, and a few of the light bulbs didn't work. The clock was from the 40s, and it was like on military time and in Europe. I mean, it was all out of whack. The TV was like had the knobs and everything, and the antenna. It was insane. And I remember I jumped on the bed, and you could see like a poof of smoke or dust. It was crazy. There was a chalk outline on the carpet and everything. And it was wild. And that was just, he was like, all right, I just stayed there. And you'd go complain, and you'd be like, hey, I got brown water coming out. And they're like, yeah, but look at the price. And like, touche.
It's better than the street.
And that comedy club owner, he rooked me because I didn't know much about comedy. And I'd go to the club. And I was like, do you guys have food here? I'm starving. He goes, oh, sit down. We got the best food. You're going to love it. We're going to take care of you. I was like, well, what should I get? He goes, get the swordfish or get the sea bass, whatever it was. And I'm like, great. And he's like, it goes well with a wine. I would recommend getting this wine. I was like, hey, well, you're taking care of it. Bring on the wine. I had appetizers. He upsold me. I had dessert. I had a couple glasses of wine. And then he gave me a bill. And it was like $290. I was like, you said you're taking care of it. He's like, well, I can't give you a free meal. There's no meal here. And I was like, so I lost my whole paycheck on that fucking Chilean sea bass.
Putting it right back into his economy.
Yes, he screwed me. He knew exactly what he was doing. Good times.
All right, we had enough time. We know you have to go. We have to do something, right?
I got a few pods on the back burner. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have enough time. I think we get out of here, and
yeah.
We don't want to keep you too long.
How long was that?
What do we got?
I think it was about
50
minutes. That's perfect.
45, 50 minutes.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
What does this come out? Is this like an iTunes or what's the deal here?
It's YouTube. What is it? YouTube, Spotify.
YouTube, Spotify.
It's all the
all
works.
the things, but mostly on YouTube because it's all video too.
It's all video.
And if
Nice.
You want to tell anybody what you got going on, or just your handles or something?
Sure. Check out my special. We just hit 3 million, so let's keep those numbers going. Netflix won't touch me with a 10-foot dick, so let's keep the YouTubes cooking. Out to Lunch is the name of it, and I have a podcast with Joe List called Tuesdays with Stories. It's just a bunch of zingers and road stories just like this. And at Mark Norm on Twitter, at Mark Norman on Instagram. And praise Allah.
Perfect. You wanna go around? Let's get it.
Yeah, all right. You can find me on DMore723 on Instagram.
All right. JT Holden 97 on Instagram.
You can find me at Aunt Prisco. Can't forget to follow
Picky Boys Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. And thank you very much, Mr. Mark Norman. It means a lot. Love you.
Thank you.
We'll watch the special again and again and again.
Thank you. Yeah, keep clicking on it and enjoy it. I appreciate it. I worked hard on it. So thanks, fellas. You guys are all mentions, and I'll see you in hell.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.